Hello, welcome to my channel. So we are going to do from the Crafter's Companion template library Indigo templates, the number 7, the beer mug card. But I'm not doing a beer mug. I don't want to do a beer mug. I don't drink beer. And nobody in the house drinks beer. I don't know a lot of beer drinkers. So I'm going to do a root beer mug, like a A&W root beer. And so I've got the white paper for the card and the foam. I'll use white paper, but I have brown paper for the root beer. So the first thing though is we've got to get the card. And of course it's a shaped card, and shaped cards are always fun. I'm gonna bring this over here, and I'm going to get my embossing tool right here. I emboss. I prefer embossing for a number of reasons. First of all, I don't have a pencil line to go in and erase. It already does the score lines for me, so I don't have to go in afterwards and score it also. So now on white paper, this white paper, okay, let me mention that I use a silicone mat underneath it. It gives just a good base for doing this embossing, to give it a good embossing without ripping it. Of course, you do have to be careful even with some papers, and even with this, if you do it too hard, you're going to rip it. But I'm going to start by just doing the outline. I really don't know where to start on this. I guess I'll start here. And instead of going real hard, I'll just go over it a few times. Just the white is the hardest one to see the embossing through. Dark papers are better, and the best is textured, because where you emboss breaks that texture down. Okay, this is a score line I'm doing here, but I might as well go around the whole cup on this side, and I'm there. So I've been all the way around that side. Now I want to go all the way around this side. Now the only thing, I love shaped cards. I don't know why, I just do. And of course, if you have a die and you want to shape a card, all you got to do is leave a little bit of that die over the edge off the paper, and that won't cut. And if that paper is folded, then you have your shape. So now I've got to do the handles, because they've got to be cut out. So I'm doing the handles, and doing both of those. We'll have to come in with a craft knife for those probably. And really, that's about it now, because there's not too much in this. I'm going to look and make sure I got those handles in. Okay, it's going to be hard to see in this light. I mean, it's really hard to see in this light. I'm going to turn it over. Sometimes I did not emboss this one as strong as I usually do, so this is going to be a little tough. I didn't give it as much force, I guess, as usual. So I'm going to pay close attention to where my lines are. Depending on how the light hits, sometimes it's better than others. It just depends. I'm looking at this light going, okay, now I can see good. Okay, now I can't. Depending on how I turn it with this light. Right now, that wasn't a very good cut, was it? If I have to do it over, I will. I just didn't emboss it good enough. It's my fault. And the foam is going to come up over, I think, a little bit, which is going to make the card a little bit bigger. Oh, we can always, you know, we can put that where we want to. We can bring it down if we need to. So it depends on what size we want the card to be, right? In these stencils, they always do tell you flattens to approximately 5x7 card when the foam is added. So and I'm going to go ahead and cut straight across to this one and just try to get rid of this big piece because I don't like cutting off of the bigger piece of paper. I prefer it smaller. It's just easier. And it's easier to get at an angle where I can see it better. Get that light shining off of that reflection. I mean, you can see better when it's in pencil, but you have to use a light hand also because otherwise sometimes it gets tough trying to erase it, you know. So I hope my score line's good because I did keep going over that. So it's pretty much the same. There's some spots where I messed up and it's not the same. This way is really bad. I didn't cut this part out. I could have just folded it and cut it out together. Why didn't I do that? That would have been so much easier. But I didn't. So now, let me come in. Maybe I can do it now. Yeah. I'm feeling like it's too late for that now. I'm going to have to come through and reshape it anyway. So I might as well just go ahead and do my cut here. It's going to go to there. Oh, come on, Lori. My hands don't want to cut it today. I'm kind of going big so I can come back and trim it later. Maybe I didn't go big. I don't see the embossed line. Maybe it's a good thing. There's the line. All right, let me see here. I just kind of nicked it wrong. So I'm going to straighten that out. in here. I'm going to get in a little closer. And here. I do want to match it up right when they're folded together. That's why I should have just folded it and cut them together. And that looks better on this side. What about the other side? Yeah. Looks a little bit too big here. Oh, it's way off there too. And the question is, if I keep trimming away, do I end up with no card when I'm done? It could happen. Especially to me, it could happen. Now, the craft knife. I am not good with the craft knife. Do not cut on this silicone mat. You will shred it up. Okay. So I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to look for my lines. And man, it looks curved right there. Like this is not going to be fun to cut out. I'm going to look at this because I needed to emboss it better than I did. Okay, I went way off. I do not like this cutter. It's not this one I personally don't like. I don't like any of them. Because I am not good at using a craft knife. And honestly, normally I avoid it at all costs. But since I got this template library, I figured I better just get used to it and do it and use it. So here we are. Okay, there's one. Now I can come in here and use that as the guide for the other one, and I think that's kind of what I'm gonna do because I can see I'm a little bit off. Yeah, that's so much easier. So much easier. Just following that. I'm just shredding this handle up. I guess I'm gonna have to come in with my little scissors. My little teeny tiny scissors. Not just my little scissors, but my tiny scissors. Just to clean it up. Because, man, what I just did to that. Butchered those handles. But what can I do? Kind of fix this a little. Round that a little bit more. Okay. So, does it go this way? Does it go this way? It's got to go this way. Isn't that kind of backwards? Did I fold it? Backwards? This is the way it needs to be folded. So there we go. That's better. So now I got the mug. Where does it? Do we have the mug? Which way should the mug go? Which way do we hold? We hold the mug. This hand. Doesn't matter, does it? No matter what I do. It's the wrong way. Okay, it's getting late and I'm tired and I'm sorry. I'm really not trying to be like this. I'm really not. Okay, so now we need to get our foam and our layers, and I'm just gonna do what they did. Is it looks like they did the background and then they did these, and they might have inked it a little bit to add a little bit of color to it. So we'll look at that. But first I'm going to start with the layers. The square layer. I'm just going to do the front. I'm not going to do the back. So I'm going to start with that layer. The square layer. You know, I want to see this one this time. I don't want to do that again. I'm going to give it a little more pressure. I don't know what I was thinking with that last one. Okay, that's already done. A little bit worried that that turn hasn't turned out, but okay. So, my big scissors, because it's just a square, I don't have to worry about doing any delicate work here. Cutting it off. I don't know if this paper is really dark enough for a root beer. Maybe it's soda, but I'm saying it's root beer. Soda doesn't really have that foam, right? So this will go, where's my card? I tossed it all the way over here. What is wrong with me? There's that. And really that can come down as far as we want it to. Okay, now I need these three things. So let me do those. And do I want to try to do them in there? Yep. Nope, because I cut that one too. Wait. I think I can get them all in there. I'm just going to have to do them a lot closer together. So let's get this one done. I love this. I think this card's going to be really cute. So the joke is that I need to do a video on demon rum. So I'm going to tell the person that's always telling me that I did a video on alcohol. And I'm making them do root beer. It is a joke, please don't think I'm serious. It is a joke. So, you know what I'm going to do? Bring this last one because I think it's easier to see where it is than the other one. I just want to make sure I'm not on that cut point. I don't know if I'll know for sure until I do it. There's that. Okay, let's do it. It looks like I'm gonna miss it. And get this in that piece. It's always easier to see this embossing on darker paper. And of course I am doing it a little bit heavier than I did on that white paper. I don't know what I was thinking. Boy, that wind is whipping out there. I don't know if you can hear it. But that's what that is, if you can hear that noise. That is that wind out there just whipping. It's crazy. I'm honestly not too worried about making those perfect. I did get off the line quite a bit. Let me see here. Sometimes it just adds a little bit of whimsy to it. If it's not perfect, you know. don't know how to explain it. Some cards and some things you want to get close to perfect as possible, but you know, something like this beer bottle, this beer mug, this root beer mug, lends itself to a little bit of whimsy. So if your pieces are a little bit off, sometimes that adds to it. At least that's my opinion. We don't have to agree on that. Okay, so get these little pieces out of here. Let's see if I can grab some kind of brown ink real quick. Sandstorm might be a little bit light, but we'll give it. Yeah, it's not really doing anything, but there's a little bit. It's adding some light. So maybe it's enough to just maybe make it more like the glass if it's got a little bit of light around it, right? This is just, I believe, opaque. Yep, opaque pigment. So it's gonna be wet for a minute because it doesn't dry as quick as the others. There, I like the way that looks. Kind of think if it's not shiny though. But you know, I can come over it with my anything with the sparkle, like the sparkle. Oh, what's the word? I can't think of the sparkle ink thing. Shoot, it's. I should be in bed. It's too late. My brain doesn't want to work. Or I got those glossy, is it glossy accents? So I could do that over the top of it if I wanted, right? I'm gonna do one in the middle. I'm gonna bring it down because we're gonna have the foam, right? One on this side and one on this side. And Can you see where I inked it? Kind of gave it just a little kind of shiny, kind of, just, you know, makes it look a little more like glass, right? It's just like, you can see the glass reflection in there. Okay, now let me measure this. So with the handles, it's just a little bit over 5. I can trim that off because that's hanging over this other one. This other one does make it right at 5. This is coming to lengthwise 5.5. So now I'm going to do the foam, and let's see if the foam's going to fit here. There. I can get the foam there. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to angle it and get it on. There we go. I got my embossing tool. And I like the way they got the foam inked too, so we'll have to ink around the foam, but might have to look for a darker ink for root beer. This sandstorm is probably a really good color for the, would probably be a good color for the beer, but I'm not so sure about root beer. And I want to do this a little harder than I did the other. And honestly, sometimes you can do it kind of ripped. And that might be cute for the foam, but I don't want to do that right now. That should be really good this time. I can see it on the other side, but not that good. So we are going for it from the front. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, here. I love the way that looks on there. Okay, so now we want to know how much do we want this, how well do we want this to fit? Do we want to bring it all the way up to the 7? Looks pretty good. So I know that's the 7. Right about touches there. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. So this one needs to be touching. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm going to glue this. Get glue in here. So that I can glue that down. I'm going to put this lid on here very carefully. And make sure I do it really good. So hopefully that's good when I go to do my next one. Okay, so that's just below 7 inches. So I'm gonna like that. That's like 6 3/4, a little bit over 6 3/4. And I like it like that. Oh, you know what I didn't? Let me take it off. I didn't ink it. I don't want to answer right. Here we go. Rustic brown, that'll work better. Oh, that don't look like a rustic brown. Ooh, that's really dark. You know what? It's an opaque ink. And they're supposed to be able to go over each other, right? And cover each other up and blend or whatever. So what I'm probably going to do is now come in with that seal. Where did I put it? Seal brown. This is a quick dry. Seal brown. Let's see what happens. Whoa. That's way darker than I thought it was going to be. Because on here, look how light it was. No, that is not the same ink pad. It's a different ink pad. It's a quick dry though. Okay, now it can go on there. That looks much better, right? That's a little too dark. Now I need to put the glue back on. Oh, maybe that's gonna stick. And I do need more glue than that. Oh, maybe not. They got theirs come down even lower. And I like the way that looks on there. Theirs, that looks good. What does that make it? 6 1/2. So it'll still feel good and fill out the envelope nicely. And we have root beer. So there we go, and we can decorate it however we want. They got the celebrate on here with some stars. Looks like maybe 4th of July or something. We got our root beer. Something just doesn't feel right about the way it's placed on here. Well, I better leave it. Okay. If you like my video, please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you join me again. Bye-bye now.